Jacob was once just an ordinary man. He lived neatly, obeyed the law, and worked as a stockbroker. He had a beautiful wife and a young son. Their life was happy, until one fatal mistake changed everything. One night, after dining and drinking with his wife and some friends, Jacob offered to drive. The trip began with laughter and jokes, but in a moment of carelessness the car he drove got into a severe accident. The crash claimed the life of one of his closest friends who was sitting in the back seat.
Baby, no! Oh my God!
The case went to court. His lawyer explained that Jacob could face 4 years in prison for driving under the influence that caused death, plus another 3 years for causing serious injuries to others. However, Jacob chose a non-contest plea so that his sentence would be reduced to only 16 months. His wife wanted to fight the case, even willing to sell their house, but Jacob refused. For him, he was guilty, and serving time was the only form of responsibility. That decision officially sent him to prison. On his first night, Jacob witnessed firsthand how brutal life inside was. When a new inmate was harshly abused by the older ones, he immediately realized that if he wanted to survive, he had to adapt quickly. During the yard break, another inmate tried to intimidate him.
Let's check yourself, Picklewood!
Instead of backing down, Jacob fought back and beat the man. His bold action drew attention from many, including Bottle, a powerful inmate who led one of the largest prison gangs. The next day, Jacob was invited to meet Bottle directly. The gang leader told him that living alone in prison was the same as suicide. With little choice, Jacob decided to join his gang. Sometime later, his wife came to visit, bringing bad news. The family of the deceased friend was suing Jacob for involuntary manslaughter. His wife was even willing to drop out of college to handle the case. But Jacob urged her to continue her design studies, saying the legal costs could be covered by their house. Inside prison, Jacob began receiving dangerous missions. The first time, he was tasked with smuggling drugs into another block. Recklessly, he hid the package inside his body and pretended to go to the toilet to retrieve it. The mission succeeded, and his courage impressed Bottle even more. Soon after, Jacob was ordered to carry out something more ruthless, to kill an inmate labeled a traitor. Reluctantly, he joined the brutal attack until the man was dead. From that moment, Jacob was officially recognized as part of the gang's inner circle.
Nothing in between can exist here.
Not long after, plans of a major riot began circulating. While getting tattooed, Jacob said he wanted out, but other gang members reminded him that everyone had to participate. They only advised him to avoid security cameras. The day of the riot came. Jacob joined the chaos, and when he saw Bottle in danger, he stepped in to help.
Come on!
During the fight, Jacob killed their opponent, but unfortunately, the entire act was recorded by the prison cameras. The footage was brought to court. His wife, who saw the evidence, broke down in tears, devastated that her husband had truly changed. The court added to his sentence 4 years for armed assault, plus 5 more for gang involvement. His total sentence now became 9 years. After the ruling, Jacob painfully asked his wife to forget about him. Jacob was then transferred to a higher security prison, where dangerous criminals were held. His life became more restricted, but this drew the attention of Beast, the most powerful gang leader there.
Ready! Down! One! 1, 2, 3.
Not long after, his wife officially filed for divorce. When a cellmate tried to comfort him, Jacob admitted that the divorce was his own request. One day, Jacob met Beast in person. Impressed by his actions, Beast gave him an important position as the gang's second in command.
Welcome to the family, brother.
After 7 years passed, Jacob's good behavior convinced the parole board to grant him early release. He began to anticipate freedom, hoping to reunite with his son. However, a corrupt guard handed him a phone to speak with Beast. Over the call, Beast ordered Jacob to oversee a large-scale weapons smuggling operation. Jacob refused, but Beast threatened to kill his family. Forced, Jacob accepted. That night, Jacob wrote a heartfelt letter to his son, urging him to live a good life and forget about his father. The next morning, the prison was in chaos after a prisoner was found hanged. Amid the commotion, Jacob was officially released. As he walked out, a guard shook his hand and slipped him a note, a message from Beast detailing the smuggling operation. Jacob then met with a former inmate named Shotgun, who introduced him to Howie, a skilled sniper with a military background but no criminal record. Jacob warned Howie not to fall into the criminal world, and Howie agreed. But Jacob's freedom was far from peaceful. While attending a party with other ex-cons, a sudden shootout broke out. Jacob escaped with Howie, fleeing by car. On the road, Jacob made it clear that from now on, Howie would only follow his orders. Howie agreed. Unbeknownst to Jacob, a parole officer named Kutcher had already placed his name on the caseboard. Kutcher received intel that Jacob would lead the illegal arms operation, so he planned to monitor him closely to expose the underground network. The next day, Jacob and Howie met again to finalize the smuggling details with other ex-inmates. They stressed that the operation must succeed, as failure would doom them all. During breakfast at a restaurant, Howie finally revealed that he had discovered a warehouse containing 2,000 weapons during a military mission against the Taliban. He had kept it secret, and after leaving the military, partnered with Shotgun to smuggle them for money. Later, Jacob met Kutcher, his parole officer. Kutcher asked if he was at the raided party the night before. Jacob calmly denied it, even presenting a hotel receipt as alibi. Although unconvinced, Kutcher lacked evidence, so he let him go. Before parting, Kutcher gave Jacob a special number to call in emergencies. Afterward, Jacob met his ex-wife. She revealed she now worked at a law firm, abandoning her dream of becoming an interior designer. She blamed Jacob for leaving her to raise their son alone. She brought up the letter he once sent from prison, which sounded like a farewell from someone about to die. Jacob stayed silent, then handed her an envelope of money. She rejected it, suspecting it came from crime. She also scolded Jacob for cutting off contact for 7 years. Jacob coldly told her to stay away from him, as he did not want to be a bad influence on their son. Before parting, he said this would be their last meeting. That night, Jacob went to a bar to meet everyone involved in the smuggling plan. After discussing the details, he asked Shotgun if everything was secure. Shotgun confidently said the police would not interfere. Though Jacob suspected Shotgun had tipped off the police about the previous party, he kept quiet. After the meeting, Jacob secretly followed him and saw Shotgun meeting with police. It turned out Shotgun had been an informant for Kutcher all along. Hearing about the smuggling plan, Kutcher ordered Shotgun to wear a wire and tracking device during the operation. Shotgun refused, fearing for his life. Kutcher insisted, threatening to arrest him if the signal disappeared. For his girlfriend's safety, Shotgun reluctantly agreed to carry only a phone tracker. Police accepted the compromise, while Jacob watched from afar, calculating. The next morning, Jacob's ex-wife visited, telling him she had cashed the check he gave. As they spoke, their son stepped out of the car to see him. The mother backed away, letting them talk. The boy begged his father to return to their lives and leave crime behind. Jacob firmly refused, saying things could never be the same. He shut the door in his son's face. Unseen by them, a parole officer was watching from a distance. Jacob noticed from his window and quietly began plotting. That night, he tore his bedsheet into a rope, opened the toilet window, slipped out, and tied it back to cover his tracks. He then took a cab to Howie's place, asking him to rent a clean, untraceable car. Jacob asked for Shotgun's address, pretending he wanted to pick him up for the operation. Unsuspecting, Howie gave it. During the talk, Howie admitted he never wanted gang life, he only wanted money from selling the weapons he found. Meanwhile, Kutcher and his team prepared to tail the gang during the arms deal, having learned that Jacob would lead. The next day, Jacob bought a dagger and other sharp weapons, then drove to Shotgun's house. As Shotgun waited for police instructions, a knock came at the door. He drew his gun, but Jacob called his name from outside. Shotgun lowered his guard and opened the door. Jacob immediately stabbed him repeatedly until he died. Outside, Kutcher was watching. Jacob knew this, so he sent the smuggling coordinates to Shotgun's phone and left it in plain sight. Soon, Kutcher grew suspicious when Shotgun did not come out. Peeking inside, he saw blood on the floor, entered, and found Shotgun dead. He quickly called his team to check Jacob's place, only to discover Jacob had escaped through the toilet window. Checking Shotgun's phone, Kutcher found the coordinates of the weapons deal. Not realizing Jacob had sent it, Kutcher decided to monitor the location. Meanwhile, Jacob rejoined the gang, pretending not to know anything. When asked about Shotgun, he lied, saying he went to fetch him but found his house empty. A member tried calling Shotgun, but since Kutcher had his phone, no answer came. The gang proceeded without him. Jacob inspected the shipment and found it came from Russia, making it hard for police to trace. SWAT mobilized for the raid. On the road, Jacob ordered the bus to stop, telling the others to continue delivering the weapons. After they left, Jacob told Howie to take another route. Then suddenly, Jacob aimed a gun at his head, demanding the truth. Terrified, Howie confessed there were actually 2,000 weapons, not 1,000 as he had said. Jacob forced him to reveal the rest's location. Afterward, Jacob told him to jump out of the vehicle. Jacob took over the wheel, tossed his phone, and regrouped with the gang. They reached the meeting point with the buyers, who handed over $1 million for the weapons. But before the deal was sealed, SWAT stormed the site, sparking a gunfight. Jacob took cover as one by one, gang members were taken down and arrested. From a distance, Howie watched, then fled once Jacob was captured. Days later, Kutcher and other officers visited Jacob in prison. They offered him a deal, his life sentence would be reduced if he gave up Beast and his organization. Jacob refused. Kutcher sweetened the offer, even promising freedom and money if he agreed. But Jacob said life outside would be more dangerous because he had betrayed the organization. Realizing his resolve, Kutcher gave up. Jacob was officially sentenced to life in prison. Upon entering his new cell, he sat on the toilet, reached into his body, and pulled out something he had hidden. The next day, as Jacob paced his cell anxiously, a guard came to escort him to an outdoor cage. Beast, already aware of his betrayal, glared at him furiously. Once locked inside, Beast demanded answers, but Jacob stayed silent. Enraged, Beast threatened to have his men kill Jacob's wife and son. Hearing this, Jacob grew tense. When the guard returned to release him, Jacob suddenly pulled out a hidden key and freed himself. The item he had smuggled was a handcuff key and a small razor blade. He subdued the guard, forced him to drop the radio, then shoved him into the cage and turned to Beast. As he opened Beast's cage, it became clear Jacob had rejected the police's offer of freedom just to return and take revenge. Beast lunged, but Jacob slit his throat with the razor. As Beast lay dying, Jacob warned that anyone who touched his family would die.
Nobody's touching my family.
After ensuring Beast was dead, he returned to his own cage and ordered the guard to report it as self-defense, promising a reward. He then openly declared himself the new gang leader. When Kutcher read the report, he was puzzled. Then he suddenly received an anonymous message revealing the location of the remaining weapons. He rushed with officers to raid the site. Meanwhile, Jacob destroyed the SIM card after sending the message and told the guard to get rid of the phone. While serving his life sentence, Jacob received a handwritten letter from his son. In it, the boy promised to live well with his mother and wrote that he had forgiven his father for everything. Reading the letter, Jacob wept, staring at a photo of his wife and son. Quietly, he mourned the normal life he could have had if that accident had never happened.